It's on last week. I must treat. Yeah. Hey, Doug. Doug. Got lots of peanut butter fudge.
I can't hear.
Got lots of peanut butter fudge.
You got peanut butter fudge? Is it like homemade, or did you just buy this?
What an insult. What an insult.
I don't think he gets any.
You know the answer.
I can't eat peanut butter anyways. You'll send me to the hospital tonight.
Why do you eat it in the peanut butter candy and potato candy?
Yeah, but it ain't that much in there, and I can only eat a little bit at a time. If I eat too much of it, I'll be going to get my gallbladder out, and then I won't be going to bike week at Daytona.
No candy's worth that.
Brian said he's not approving the request.
That's what he said. I'm
We're
going
looking for a county engineer on Monday, right?
I was joking. I didn't know.
I spent all weekend with that hog.
I've been there.
Let the record show it's 6 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order. Sarah, would you please do the roll call?
Eddie Guggenhauer.
Here.
Linda Barnhart.
Present?
Merritt Paul.
Here.
Buchanan Gordon.
Present.
Tim Lewis.
Present.
Dean Levy.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. We have the agenda, which was sent out to you earlier in the week. If there's no changes to
Move
it,
to approve.
a motion of Mr. Goff to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any questions on that? Okay, do we have anybody that signed in to speak under the open governmental process? Okay. Let the record show that there's no one that wants to speak to us tonight regarding what's on their mind. Okay, approval of the meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Gokenhour to approve the meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain due to absence.
Okay, I have one abstention by Mr. Gant due to absence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, have two public hearings this evening. One of them is Butler's Crossing, out parcels 4 and 5.
Yes, this public hearing is a request for waiver. Projects Butler's Crossing out parcels 4 and 5, file 2212-385. The developer is Ferber Construction Management North, and the engineer is Integrity Federal Services. It's located in the Mill Creek District, tax map 6, parcel 55.1. The site's located at the southwest corner of Gerrardstown Road and its intersection with Sophronia Boulevard. This project proposes a single building containing 3 build-to-suit commercial spaces and a convenience store with automobile fueling stations. Both parcels will be served by public water and sewer. The developer is requesting a waiver to Article 8, Section 801.1.6.b to reduce the parking and drive aisle setback from 8 feet to 0 feet for the lot lines separating out parcels 4 and 5. Staff recommends approval of the waiver to Article 8, Section 801.1.6.b to reduce the parking drive aisle setback from 8 feet to 0 feet.
Okay, thank you. Do you want to just take a brief minute to tell us why you're recommending the waiver?
Yeah, so we're recommending approval only because originally, or usually what happens is from your parking setback from the edge of the parcel, you have about 8 feet, sometimes 2 feet from the edge, and it's curb and gutter. This is basically eliminating the curb and gutter, and it's just gonna be for flow through shared parking and through the other 2 parcels. It just creates better flow. There's really no need to have curb and gutter there.
Okay. All right, this is a public hearing. If you have questions or comments regarding this, it's your opportunity to come forward and make those known.
If there is no one, I move to close public hearing.
Okay. Let the record show that there is no comment. I have a motion by Mr. Goff and second by Mr. Gant to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any questions? If not, the motion is approved. I'm sorry, the public hearing is closed. Um, uh, Regarding the staff recommendation, do you have questions, of the staff on that?
Represent the project.
Excuse me?
Did you bring up anybody to represent the project?
I did already. Oh, a representative from the project, I'm sorry. Kinda got ahead of myself.
Chad Long, Deputy Federal Services.
Man, you could have billed and we'd have never known you were here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, planning commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Wallen now that he's right here in front of us?
There's no question, Madam, make a motion, we accept staff recommendation to approve the waiver.
I have a motion, Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Goff, to approve the waiver. And I won't recite all the numbers that go along with it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Okay, the next public hearing is Potomac Station.
Yes, this public hearing is a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is Potomac Station Lot 11. The file is 2211-335. The developer is Alpha WV Investments LLC. The engineer is Triad Engineering. It's located in the Falling Waters District, map 14, parcel 3. This project is located at the intersection of Anagram Drive and Vantage View Drive within the Potomac Station subdivision, approximately 420 feet from Hammond's Mill Road. This project proposes a 6,000 square foot commercial building with 4 separate tenants, restaurant and retail, on approximately 1 acre to be served by public water and sewer. At the December 19, 2022 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted a waiver to Article 8, Section 801, Table 8-1B, Category 16B, allowing additional uses, including restaurants, to be included under the general retail 2,000 to 75,000 square feet parking calculation rates for a proposed 6,000 square foot inline retail building. On December 28, 2022, County Engineer Doug Smith deemed the above-mentioned project compliant with the subdivision ordinance 2009. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Okay. Have anyone to represent the project?
Jackson Gardner, Triad Engineering.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. If you have questions or comments, please come forward and let those be known at this time.
There are no comments, move public hearing to close.
Second.
Okay, let the record show that there is no comments from the public. Have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Gant, to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of the applicant's representative or of the staff?
No questions, I'll make a motion, we accept staff recommendation and advance the sketch plan to preliminary plan stage.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Gant, second by Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation, and that is to advance the project to the preliminary plan stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. Okay, preliminary plan approval for Panhandle Printing and Design.
Yes, this is a request for preliminary plan approval. The project is Panhandle Printing and Design. The file number is 2105-170. The developer is Michael Height. The engineer is Greenway Engineering. It is located in the Opequon District, map 10C, parcel 41. This project is located approximately 555 feet northwest of the intersection of Winchester Avenue and Warm Springs Avenue. This project proposes the redevelopment of 0.52 acres to become the new location for Panhandle Printing and Design. This site is currently served by public water and sewer. At the January 4th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted waivers to the following: Section 801, Table 8-1B, 16B, requiring one parking space for every 275 square feet of gross floor area. Section 801.2, Table 8-4, requiring 2 loading spaces, and Section 802B1A, requiring a 25-foot buffer between commercial and residential properties. On June 12, 2021, County Engineer Doug Smith deemed the above-mentioned project compliant with the subdivision ordinance 2009. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends approval of the preliminary plan.
Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening. I am Mark Besanot from Greenway Engineering.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Mazanoff or of the staff?
Hearing none, ma'am, make a motion, we accept staff recommendation for approval of the preliminary plan.
I have a motion from Mr. Gokenhour, second Mr. Goff, to accept the staff recommendation, and that is to grant preliminary plan approval for Panhandle Printing and Design. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You got it. The final item on the agenda is Staff Council Discussion Action Motion 2023 Subdivision Ordinance. Aha,
As everybody knows, we've been working on this subdivision ordinance rewrite. I've been working on it since I started here for 2 years. We've had it through various comments, and we've had numerous meetings about it, about getting it to the first stage, getting all the comments addressed, make sure we at least considered every single comment that we received in writing. And I think we've incorporated what we think we should and we can. The role of the Planning Commission in this process is in the last sentence of the 2009 subdivision ordinance, is that any proposed amendment to the ordinance shall be submitted to the Planning Commission for report and recommendation prior to any action by the County Commission. It's not state law, it's in the ordinance itself. The report and recommendation comes from the
right. Yeah, well, I think we've been talking about this for several meetings. You may not have been at our last meeting, but I asked the Planning Commission members if they would be prepared at this meeting tonight to recommend that it go to the council for their approval and public hearing. So I don't know if that happened, but if it has, we're ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we send the ordinance to the county council for review, to hold public hearings, and ultimately to decide whether the ordinance meets the requirements for Berkeley County.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Goff. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Can I see a show of hands? All those in favor? Okay. It's unanimous. Planning Commission is recommending that it go to the county council for their review and public hearing. Okay. The ordinance, the old ordinance, the 2009 ordinance, apparently had some hydrology comments in it, and now they're as an appendix along with other items that have been placed as appendices.
Oh, the hydrogeologic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was basically if you were doing a subdivision, say, in an area where there was no water, and you wanted to get denser homes, you could provide a production valve, your own mini, water distribution system. Those hydrogeologic requirements for the study the things that are necessary that somebody would need to submit that report to the county. Were just basically taken out of the text of the old ordinance, which we felt it was more engineering, scientific,
12 pages of numbers.
It was very technical.
and we did not change anything in it. We basically picked it up, we moved it to its own appendix. It's hardly used. We don't see that much here, although it certainly could be. It very well could be used, but we just moved it to an appendix.
Well, I
Nothing
get-
in it changed.
Yeah. But my question was, did the state and county health department approve this back whenever it was in the 2009 ordinance?
I don't know, man.
You don't really have any.
I mean, would
Sure they do.
that production well need to be approved by DEP and West Virginia Health Department? Yes.
Okay.
What we're saying is those are our requirements. In order for you to even propose such an idea, you would have to generate that study to show that it was fruitful to us before we would even, it wouldn't matter what anybody else said, we would want to see that data in addition to any requirements they may have.
Wait a minute, I have questions over here. What's going on? What do you have?
Well,
We were just splitting hairs about you're asking about the
process
ordinance.
that they would have to apply to the state with all their calculations, everything, and get that permit. It would supersede anything we did anyhow.
But this is an appendix in our ordinance, and I'm just asking if the state and county health department had reviewed this back in 2009, if nothing changed.
I don't know what the process was.
Because
back then.
there is-
There's no paper trail left
Yeah,
to determine
Really?
that. But if there were any changes at that level to our ordinance, we would end up defaulting to that those standards or changes
Okay.
unless we felt that they were egregious in one form or another. I mean, let's say that they decided that the drinking water coming out of that production well could have an industrial limit for lead in it. And, we would say, well, no, we want it to be drinking water limit lead. I mean, that's a whole other discussion, and that's almost splitting hairs. You know what I'm saying? So we would certainly default to that, but they were set up by the county back then because there were several subdivisions that were contemplating that, and you have to look at it as, is that water source sustainable? Because you're talking about doing one well for many houses.
well, I just want to have you aware for when the county council holds a public hearing, if anybody brings this up. Since
Yes,
it
ma'am.
now
I'm
appears
ready for
as an
any
appendix, it will be perceived as being a change. And you're saying it's not a change.
It's not a
But
change.
if there's questions, you need to be prepared to answer questions. And I'm sure if the council has a public hearing, you'll be called in to answer questions.
I've answered all your questions.
I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about the council. I'm talking about the council. You not answered all my questions, there's no candy.
I'm ready for it.
I can
I
promise
love a
you,
good fight.
anybody that want to do one of those systems nowadays, they'll wish they didn't after they did it.
Well, yes, but there is a lot of requirements in here. Okay, if there's nothing else that anybody has,
Move to adjourn.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff at 6:16 to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Mr.
That's
Gann.
gotta be a record.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?